Alright, motherfuckers. I just ate a half a fried chicken, drank a Red Bull. Let's make a video. Alright. It was a Rockstar, not a Red Bull. But, alright. I know I said I was going to discontinue the build videos because my cap was pretty well maxed. Like, I had the four health roll boots. I was going to keep them. I had what was it? Sorry, I had to turn that fan off. It's built into the phone. It's nice, except for, yeah, it's got a little bit of a whine to it. Yeah, my shield I had, I think, two crit damage decrease rolls. I would like to see more than that. Yeah, but my build was pretty well gridlocked. Like I just could not increase it without basically re-rolling. The badges could get, obviously can get a little better. The cards could get a little more optimized in the rolls, but like, I, I reached max potential. I got my traits set. Um, there really wasn't any improvement. It's gonna be slow. So as such, let me show you my specializations. I got my whole tree. Oh, we're gonna do it live. Boom. Okay. Get the whole tree done here now at this point. I forgot about that green one. I didn't care too much. Um, so this is what I'm running. I got the battle prep. I know I said I didn't like the max defense rate being 20%. I know I said I didn't like it. I know I said I didn't think it was going to be useful. It's useful, like a lot. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it should proc as much as it does, but it procs a pretty good bit. And it's very useful. I can't imagine trying to run without it. It's legit, especially for PvP. Uh, Obviously running charisma, gotta run charisma. I don't think there's any choice in the matter. You that's Cap's best, hands down best trait. I am running spot weakness. I got away from it because this one guy was playing Doctor Strange. His name is Ogre Mega Whale. I kind of got away. I went down the rabbit hole trying to create a build to kill him, and I was not very successful. I have beaten him a few times, only when he doesn't have like his top damage skills up. But he's rolled back to Captain America now, and yeah, so I'm running bleed again. I can land bleed on most targets. It increases damage by 30% to bleeding targets, and yeah, it's pretty good. Notice I took off bravery. Uh, Bravery increases first skill used within 6 seconds after using hand-to-hand combat class skill. There was one combat class skill worth using. I say worth using. That is usable in PvP, and it's. I just got to the point. It just felt, especially with this run and hide meta that's out right now. It was just so hard to land the hand to hand skill and then land, a damage skill, like something that's gonna do a lot of damage. I know the one skill kind of tracks kind of well, but it's the meta keeps shifting. It's a new ball game. With Hulk, people run a lot, and yeah, PvP is all about timing, landing the big attacks. To try to land a attack and then land damage within 6 seconds, it's harder. You want to give yourself the best chance possible. So that's why I'm going with the bleed over the hand to hand. The bleed lasts, a little while. It does well. It gives me more flexibility with the build. Plus, when I'm not running the hand to hand skill, I can run a second shield absorption. I can get that bonus 30% damage for the vibranium release more often, like twice as often. I do like this for PVE. You're just gonna stack damage better. It's just a little bit clunky for PVE. Now, I say this, obviously I climbed well with it. It's, you know, I like to change things up. Just my preference right now, I'm not running it. Let's see, my other PvP skill, Vanguard. I know I've said I'd rather stack the percent damage uh, than the Vanguard and the attack, but this raises my. I put it this way: running the bleed and the increase 20% or increase 30%. Running bravery, get the increase 30% there. Those raise the ceiling, but you have to do more to set them up. Vanguard raises the floor. Raising your attack, it raises basically your minimum that you're gonna do on a hit. And you know, for my current build, I see more payoff with it. I think there's more payoff on more damage oriented builds also, but I finally jumped on the Vanguard train. All right, I'm on. I don't see where I'm gonna get off. While we're on traits, I'm gonna bring up passion. I love this for PvE. You could trade it in for like battle prep. You can put your hand to hand or your bravery over charisma. Run like the full damage spec for PvE, and you're gonna heal. Hardly use health pots if you run passion. Passion is broken right now, and I say broken. I don't mean in a good way. I mean it in that the way it is written absorbs 3% of damage dealt to enemy as HP. 3% of every attack should heal you, but it's not doing that, or it doesn't seem to be doing that. At least not in the way that it was, where you were getting your little green numbers on every attack. It's just not working right now. They've changed it. I don't know if it's like you'll still see those green numbers and you'll still see the healing once in a while. It's like, I don't know, some people have speculated they've nerfed it to like a 10-second cooldown. There's been absolutely nothing in the patch notes. There's been absolutely nothing in the known bugs list. It's, it's just something that Netmarble doesn't seem to care about because we're not Iron Man. So, eh, although they did do well on the Captain America boost. Um, some say a little overtuned. I'm a Cap. I'm partial. I can't really argue one way or the other, whether it was too much or just right. I like I like the flexibility with Cap, but he's still incredibly difficult to build. Not so much difficult, but it's it's hard. It's more expensive or time consuming to build him for PvP. It just is. His potentials are not very conductive to PvP. As you see, at max potentials, um, you see a lot of his potentials help his base stats, attack, health, HP recovery is good for some builds. Other builds, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. Um, Defense, obviously, Cap loves defense. He runs on defense. But yeah, going over again. Look at what's actually good for PvP. Guard damage decrease. Okay, that's nice, but it's not necessarily like an offensive PvP stat. HP recovery. You can build around it. More HP recovery. Okay, can build around it. Crit damage. Good, good. For PvP. I do feel like they slid the meta a little bit on crit damage, but I think most people are still running nearly max crit damage. More guard damage decrease. Okay, nice. Cooldown decrease. This is good, but it's not like game breaking. We got accuracy on this row. This is really nice. But yeah, so we got 8% accuracy, 4% cooldown, 12% crit damage. Oh, wait. Where's the other there? Yeah, that's it. There's no other PvP. There's no other PvP skills, at least not offensive ones. But, it is what it is. He is versatile. Um, for my build, we'll go into the stats. Attack. Notice my health. Man, that was over 250. I accidentally re-rolled my boots. I was trying to re-roll my shield. I accidentally re-rolled my boots, and I cry. Like it's so sad. Um, nice thing is, I did manage to confirm. So I lost 4 health, 4 HP rolls on my boots. It dropped my HP down to like 220, but I had 2 HP recovery rolls, and I actually healed more with the recovery than I did with the HP. Um, I think on a percent to percent basis, like I did the math, HP is better, but on a roll per roll basis, HP recovery heals you more. Now, in PvP for duels, that bar on the top is all based on your max HP. I still I put it this way. I prefer the HP over HP recovery any day. Especially because it gives you more flexibility. I can run Ultron with higher HP and I get more of a shield. I'm not with higher HP recovery. I forget the exact numbers, but I was actually healing for about 1,000 more health per tick with Volstagg than at with the 220 health than I was with 250 health. I actually changed an HP. I changed a core. Granted, that's a 6-star HP recovery rather than the HP core I had, but I still heal more at 215 than I did when I was 250. When I was only like, I think it's 122% HP recovery. So as of right now, I'm still really not trying to stack crit rate, crit damage. Um, somewhere I'm just noticing my accuracy rate dropped off. I think that was a badge roll. The part of the reason I haven't done a video, or I didn't do a video last week, is Alliance Raid has me moving all kinds of stuff around, and it's just a major headache. I hate Alliance Raid. I think it would be great if, you just took your main in. It would be great. I think it would be great if, maybe you took in, 2 or 3 champs. Taking in 9 champs like a day. I mean, I already have a full-time job. I don't need a part-time job. I'm gonna be honest. I really hate all the repetition in this game. I mean, like all I do is duels. I'm gonna pause on the build thing right now. Let me show you something. Let me show you my weekly rankings. This is what I do in the game. Play duels. This week I've been busy. I'm sitting at 17. I'm probably gonna get back into duels after this video. Try to climb a little bit. I've done mostly like just my dailies for duels. I'm like really not running anything else. I just don't have the time or the desire to do any of this stuff, much less juggle badges and cards between 9 different characters. It's just absurd. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, back to the build. Yeah. I'm not going for a lot of crit damage, or I haven't been to this point. I had been stacking crit damage decrease, but here's my issue. My boots, my beautiful, beautiful 4 HP roll boots. I accidentally re-rolled them. I was so mad, so sad. I contacted support. They said I must have unlocked them. There was no anomalous activity on my account. Well, guess what? I did not unlock them, and yet they are re-rolled. And I said, wouldn't that be evidence of anomalous activity? And they said, no, they must have been unlocked. They weren't. I'm not a liar. I know it's you know, I mean, yeah, it doesn't take a lot just to unlock boots, but I didn't do it. So, I re-rolled my other set of boots. This is what I have now. I got a little bit of cooldown and release, a little bit of stamina recovery, a little bit of HP recovery, obviously there. HP. Um, I think with that stamina recovery, it will pay off because of the Thanos badges. I'm not going to go into too much detail on these things, but the short version is you can roll a two, three, four. You can roll an extra roll on these things compared to look. So this I got one, two, three, four rolls. For the Thanos badges, you get a fifth roll, and that fifth roll can be cooldown decrease. All right, so you can get that decrease on. I'm not 100% sure. I thought I had heard every badge. Um, there's a bunch of stuff floating around. I don't know. Apparently, this cooldown decrease um, bonus stat. See how it says minus 175? Yeah, that's a cooldown increase. If you get cooldown decreases on all your badges, it offsets the cooldown increase. But it's very confusing because apparently it doesn't show on your champ correctly. All right, let me see. Where's my cooldown decrease? I'm up to 33.5 with one badge. I was at 31.72. This badge actually did have two cooldown decrease on it, but as you can see, I get a little bit more with the Thanos, and this Thanos is only, well, I guess he's +4, but yeah, so I am actually working on the badges now. I just haven't had time to, I haven't had time to do Alliance Raid, much less Incursion, much less dailies. It is what it is. Um, yeah, so these are my stats. I want to get PvP damage maxed, but I, I just don't have the card rolls. My accuracy rate is lower than I want it to be. I think I swapped the badge out. It was higher, but was it on here? I might swap this head over just because I got 2 crit rate, 1 defense pierce, and a crit damage versus 2 defense pierce crit rate. I'm not too worried about that status effect accuracy. I don't think a lot of people build status effect defense. I did get into that a little bit with my shield roll. Don't get me started on that. I had a, yeah, this is my shield right now. Not great. I I rolled it once. I got 3 status effect resistance rolls. It took me up to like 75%. I ran it like that for a little while. You can see in some of my previous videos where I had my status effect resistance up higher. And let me tell you what, it's not something I noticed at all. Um, base status effect accuracy is 100. So yeah, you're just not going to, yeah, like my status effect resistance. Right now it's at 53, but your base accuracy is 100. So even when I had it stacked up to 70 whatever, if someone has no status effect accuracy rolls and they just have the base 100, I still only have a 75% chance to block to block the status incoming status effect. Your max status effect resistance is 100. So at the most, if you stack all those status effect resistance rolls, the most you can do is get your resistance to 100, accuracy if someone has it at the absolute least is going to be 100. So the best you can hope for is a 50% chance to block status effects. Like, don't get me wrong. At 75%, I could see. I saw some resistance. It will say resisted for different effects. It's nice, but it's not a real game changer. In my opinion, crit damage decrease is your best. Dodge rate, that was like the first stat the whales were going for. Dodge rate is pretty sad outside of Spider-Man because most people are building accuracy because of Spider-Man. So, you're just not gonna get a great dot. I mean, dodge is great for like Alliance Wars or Omega Wars. Not Alliance Wars so much. Good for like Omega Wars if you're playing against like lower accounts that don't have their accuracy built. You'll see them miss you sometimes. But for duels, especially like I mean, I'm kind of building my account to fight top players, and dodge rate doesn't help much. This is like really really bad rolls. For cap, my dream build would be either 2 guard damage decrease and 3 crit damage decrease, or I think I could even do like 4 crit damage decrease, and yeah, I would be golden. I wouldn't even mind changing some of the guard damage decrease for defense. Like I could take any of those 3 rolls. But dodge rate, I don't need. Status effect resistance. In my opinion, it's useless. It's pretty close to useless. Let me get into my builds here. I've teased in the last video that I had a secret. I'm gonna go ahead and reveal it, like for my Omega cards. I This is my build A, which I honestly I forget what my build A was before, but right now this is my I still use it to fight Iron Man and stuff. I changed to a little more. I'd say this is a little more normal skills used here. I got my charge. It's a shield absorption skill. Spearhead. Yeah. I do like Spearhead. What's the other one here? Forefront. It is. I don't know. it tracks a little better. I it seems like it lasts longer. You can run what you want. I did throw this back in. I played around. At least I'm tagging the target with bleed, and it's boosting my defense or boosting my attack. I played around with um, landing the damage decrease. It just does not. It doesn't seem to land very well, and it's it's when you have your um, defense pierce maxed at 75. It just doesn't seem to uh defense decrease. It just doesn't do as much. This deal, I had this against Iron Man, but any good Iron Man knows that you don't fly versus Captain America. So my double guard damage to flying enemies is pretty useless. I think Spider-Man counts as flying. So, like, I mean, technically, I guess you would get benefit, against him. I have guard broken a few Spider-Man, but I like the bleed a little bit more. Next skill, I run versus Iron Man. I tried running the neutralization, the silence, remove their buffs. Supposed to remove some of their cooldown decrease. It's it I don't know. I saw very minimal gain from that against Iron Man, even Spider Man. I really like to use this the shield impact. It's good. I love when I know Iron Man's about to shoot his missiles. Instead of using a dodge, I'll throw that shield up. Being a good range, I will mitigate half the damage of those missiles, and I get to clap them, and yeah, get that 1,000% damage. I'm looking at it now. It doesn't say. Oh yeah, here decreases all damage received by 50% for 2 seconds. Provokes for 3 seconds. Knocks back when the skill lands. Okay, so I run that. The heal. I, I'm playing around with this, but with the reduced health pool, even though I heal for more now than I used to because of the HP recovery, I against now, and when I say this, I gotta preface it by the people that I'm experiencing that I can't really out heal the damage they deal. I'm talking like Ogre, Steel, um, some of the top Iron Men. Like I'm talking like some of these like top 15 type guys. I'm debating about going back to the barrier and then running Ultron as my companion. it it is another good way to mitigate damage. With lower health, Ultron's not, as good of a buff for me as it would have been with the higher health, but I am going to play with that. And then my my big whammy skill I will say I find that this doesn't land as much as this one did, but it's more damage. Usually have the target with bleed. Um, it's just nice when it lands. I think the name of the game is, at least with the heal, is you gotta basic you gotta basically inflict more damage on them than they can inflict on you that you can't heal, basically. Like, you got the heals going for you. They basically, I've noticed, a lot of people have stopped running Hulk against me because of the heals. I'm seeing a lot more like Icarus, um, some of the higher damage companions. I'm gonna get into the cards now for this build. All right, so this is the big secret I was talking about. Previously, I was running um, the range damage decrease and melee damage decrease on the same build, on the same, you know, like on all three of my builds. I've kind of discontinued that, and this is why. You know, when you go into a fight, you know which card um you have equipped. You know which damage you mitigate more of, and you can at least try to control the range that of the encounter. It's all about the 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 specific skill used doesn't matter in range versus melee. It just doesn't. It's all about distance. Now, according to Netmarble, skills over 4 meters are range skills. Skills launched or procced, uh, basically started under within 4 meters are melee. So, Iron Man missiles, if he's less than 4 meters from you when he launches his missiles, it's melee, even though he doesn't actually touch you. Spider Man's swing kick, even though he's physically touching you, because he launches the kick from more than 4 meters away, it can be ranged. So, knowing that, you can control your range. Alright, so I'm running just this range card on. This is now build A, is now my range build. Showing you some of the cards here. I'm not completely specced out the way I want here. Obviously, if I had one more PvP increase roll, would be great. Since I'm not trying to stack crit damage on this build, I mean, I wouldn't mind having a replacement for this card entirely, but I got 2 crit damage decrease and a defense boost. It, like, I can take that. The crit damage is technically quote quote wasted on my build because I'm really not trying to stack crit damage or crit rate, but it's not a useless stat, and I got my 3 other rolls are good. This one, I got all good rolls, even though it's a number 1 grade, and those rolls are worth less than they could be. They're all good rolls. This one, max damage rate is kind of a not great stat. That's kind of a wasted roll, but the other three are real good. It's gonna be a recurring theme. These ones, guard damage decrease is good. Going from 100% guard damage decrease down to like 50%, you know, and I put it this way, it was really fun playing with 100% guard damage decrease. I think 50% is fine. I do find myself getting guard broke more often now in Dimension Duel, but I think for most aspects, 50% is just fine. Yeah. PvP increase, great. Range damage decrease, that's great. Total damage, it's good to have that multiplier, but I really need my PvP increase brought up. See, the total damage roll is worth half as much as a PvP increase roll is. Um, but yeah, as you see, I'm trying to stack crit damage. My shield kind of messed me over. I got my max damage rate is. I got two bad rolls with that. Um, yeah, but this is my range build. Build B is my what in the world? Yeah, build B. This explains some stuff from last week. Build B is my melee build. Um, so yeah, I don't know when I changed that, but to the range, but I probably played like that all week, thinking I was in my melee uh build. Um, yeah, so this build is primarily for fighting other Captain Americas. Um, the guys that I can kind of go toe to toe with, uh, mitigate damage, head on. I'll use this build against Doctor Strange because guess what? I know Doctor Strange has a melee damage decrease skill. And a lot of Doctor Stranges like to use that versus Caps because Caps generally like to be close and melee. So I I run this melee build when I'm playing against opponents that like to play close. I will say it's I prefer range damage decrease over melee damage decrease just because like it's easier to keep distance and attack from a distance. I think most opponents try to keep a distance. It is difference in stats. Just because of how it works out, my PvP damage, I just can't stack it quite as high. Um, Crit damage decrease is a little lower as well. Uh, Everything else pretty much the same here. It's but as you can see, it's a little bit lacking. I still have some wasted rolls, but just like rolling costumes, rolling cards is re-rolling cards is very either expensive or time consuming, and honestly, I'm just not trying to put that much time and effort into this game. Oh, notice I do have this one guard damage card on this build because that guard damage decrease I have on my range card that I don't have on my melee card. Yeah. Without that, I'm at like 30% guard damage decrease and I get broke pretty easy. Now, the third build, this kind of varies. When I get time to mess around with it, this is going to be my both card range and melee decrease, because sometimes you just like that. Sometimes you just like to, mitigate everything, play a little more free. You're not restricted by what range you have to keep from the opponent. As you can see, I got an ultimate gauge recovery card in here from my ultimate gauge recovery video. If you're interested at all in what an ultimate recovery cap looks like in action, I don't know if anyone else topped, the 190% alt gauge recovery, but I had 3 alt recovery rolls on my boots. So, after the mistaken reroll, so I made the best of it, did the video. I just build C is it just kind of fluctuates between my PvE build and just my play around, like test things build. So eventually I'll get it actually spec'd out again as my for my niche type of there are times when it's useful to have the what you call it, the neutralization skill on a range build. That's what I'm thinking of, which I don't have set up on my melee build. My skills, I've got neutralization set up because I'm mainly fighting caps. That takes their barrier off. That takes their healing boost off. It's good to have versus cap. Now, let me also say, sometimes it doesn't strip the Ultron barrier or their this barrier, their captain's patience. So, yeah. I wonder. The silence does help versus caps though. Um, so yeah, maybe I'll leave it. But yeah, when I get time to mess around with my builds again, build C is gonna be probably range and melee card. Probably going to include the neutralization because yeah, sometimes I want neutralization on a range damage decrease build. Yeah, so that's pretty well settles it. I don't think I really have anything else to point out here. Um, I can show skills real quick. Yeah, so with passion, um, not working. Oh yeah, this is also build C is also kind of my also kind of ends up being my PvE setup a lot of times. Skill wise, um, I've been playing around with this in PvE without the. If I have the plus 6% after hand to hand, I would swap this in there somewhere. But yeah, I've been so lazy with PvE. I'm just, I just basically run my standard PvP build and just auto it, and I just heal and never die. But anyway, especially with the passion trait being broken, it was a time when it was worth having a PvE build for cap. Like, I could run all the, let's see, I would run the hand to hand, the bravery, and I could run the passion. I would do a little bit more damage, and I would just heal, and it was amazing. I would swap out my captain's leadership skill for another like damage skill, like this deal. Notice all my other builds running captain's leadership. This one for PvE, run an extra vibranium release skill. Yeah, just because I am too lazy and because passion's not working, I rarely like I just hit, build A, go into the invasion, hit auto. And most of the time he doesn't die. Anyway, if you have any questions, hit me up. Some of the yeah, I I want to get my shield right. I am gonna mess with the badges. I hope to have more info to share on the badges in the future. Uh, but yeah, not a lot of place that I can actually improve on this deal. So, just playing around, you know. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day. Hey, coming at you with a little bonus here. I probably should do a separate video on this, but Demon Bear, I guess he has a little thing where range damage decrease. So he gets that little circle around him. Okay? If you are outside that circle and you attack, that's range damage. Yeah, it's a nice little visual to use when you consider your range. If you're running that uh, range damage decrease or melee damage decrease card. Obviously, if you're running range damage decrease, you want to be outside of that circle, that light blue little green circle thing that was around the bear. You want to be outside of that range for that card for range damage decrease to take effect. Conversely, if you run the melee damage decrease, you want to be inside that range. So, yeah, just food for thought. Maybe I'll make a video about it at some point, but also probably not. Anyway, have fun.